a lot in our flows. Okay. And so we hit this, personalization energy a lot in our flows. Me and Ray, we do. And it's very beautiful. But it's very difficult. Because I'm trying to get a wisdom through. And I'm like, can we just look at things much more factually? Instead of judging ourselves, thinking of us as wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. This happened and this happened and this happened. Because what's happening with the ferocity or this or that is when something begins to attack and combat with me. It's deciding to defend itself in some manner, which is, again, I've told you before, the law of polarity or sense, duality or whatever, which is always non-duality actually. But an attack is a defense and a defense is attack. And so the moment an attack comes, I then have to work with that energy. And what do? I express energy. And so if there's a nice subtle attack, it's going to be a nice loud vocal response from me. And we're going to figure it out. And if I am tired of hearing you tell me the same repetitive things over and over again in order to bring about the space for the harmonization of your defense and attack, eventually I'll become impatient with this and I just want to hear it anymore. I don't care about the personalization. I don't care about the story. I don't care about any of those things. Let's just talk about what has occurred here. And let's just talk about how we can be accurate, honest, accountable, responsible with our own information, with what's going on, with just be impeccable. It's okay. This happened and this happened. This was the result. The result was negative seeming. It was kind of confronting. It was agitating. It was irritating to me in some ways, somewhat frustrating with the expectation of how I thought the path was going to unfold. But that's a great teaching for me, so no big deal. But the inability to see what has happened and refine based on what has happened due to the personalization of the energy, causing that story to not be able to actually be approached and looked at because the other false one is in the way. That's something that I can't have stay. I can't have the false reality just hanging out there. We are not both going to look at the false reality with subtlety and act as if it's possibly true. The false reality is complete ignorance, is complete idiocy, is complete stupidity, is complete the most dumbest shit in the world. But it is also completely the most wise, compassionate, amazing perfection as well. So not in the realm of not in the realm of dissonance or judgment, duality, in a sense, but just that we need to be able to see this thing. Because if we can't see this thing, if we're going to jump here, there, and there, then there's going to be a huge issue. And so we've been having some videos on mastery and different things like that. And this particular experience actually brought me into a realm of specificity when it came to discriminating awareness and the sharing of discriminating awareness in a very strong transmutative fashion. And so it may seem wrong to cut into somebody, but why were the masters this way? Well, they had students that were going into all kinds of different stories and causing all kinds of crazy things and dissonances that needed literally wrathful compassion to come from a teacher that can cut with their words and their energy an illusory reality right out. So earlier, we had her come in with an illusory reality in the beginning conversation. And then I began to cut it out. And then I stopped a little bit. And she began to get in more with it. And then we started a little bit. And it came in more. And then I just completely cut it out. And that illusory reality didn't come back up anymore. So I cut it out by saying stupid and ignorant and all kinds of different things in a really direct fashion about the energy and what I was perceiving in that current story and notion that was being perpetuated and expressed towards me actually. And that brought us to a place where we could use a greater, finer tuning to discriminating awareness. I really just want to bring us to a place where we're scientists, so we don't have to fight incoming information. We don't have to defend against it. We don't have to take it personally like it means something about us, lesser or greater, like, oh no, Ryan's going to leave us because this terrible thing has occurred. No. What are we learning from this? Are we able to learn from this, or are we going to act as if other information is true that has nothing to do actually with it because it's the stories that are going on in our head from the traumas in our life, the fears that we may be having, our own personal insecurities and doubts? Do we have to project that into the context of what's occurred, or can we simply learn what's occurred Maybe these things have some kind of factor within it, and that's wonderful too. But let's maybe bring those up in a way that shows that distinctly and impeccably so that we're not mixing these two frequencies, and then we can work with them individually and together, whatever it is, but we can actually work from them from where we are, and we can move forward with those things. And so this brought me into a place where I was able to describe much more accurately my discriminating awareness and the accuracy of its intuitive quality and the amazing amount of realization and building upon of personal experience that has brought me to this type of sturdying and vast, limitless awareness presence that she seems to be really digging a lot. I dig a lot. Other people dig a lot. Some people more than others. Not a big deal about that, but still. And all I'm ever doing, people might say, well, he's talking so grand about himself. I am talking grand about myself, I understand, only when compared to what people believe in themselves when they believe in themselves in an egoic and illusory manner that's quite limiting. Otherwise, all you could hear of me, if you understood non-duality and who you were really, was me speaking about me in a way that was actually speaking about you from the point of, like, a much more clear notion of how you're occurring with consciousness, actually. In a much amazing, similar way, actually. You believe that you're making choices. I have simply come to the understanding that I can't make a choice even when it looks by all the possible criteria as if I have. And that's kind of things that we're really coming into explaining here. I'm itching my ass crack right now. I just thought about it. I was like, oh, are they thinking about me itching my ass? And then I was like, and I looked and I was like, oh, they couldn't possibly really see. And I was like itching inside the ass crack at that time. But it kinked the flow so quickly. Now, this is a long dialogue for that very brief instant of energy with this entire thing attached to it. But yeah, so I decided just to share it, you know. I mean, maybe you guys do think I'm dumb for scratching my ass on camera when I'm like talking about consciousness. But, you know, I kind of feel like the Buddha right now. Like, hey, don't scratch your ass on consciousness, and don't wear a hat inside the king's chambers. He told the king the reason why he wore that, because the guy he was super like, how could you do this to me, Buddha? How could you embarrass me like this? I thought we were friends. Like, how I thought you loved me and respected me. You made me look like this in front of all my people, which is another thing. All because people want to save face. We can't be honest with them. I mean, why are we all have to be such little bitches all the time? Anyways, so the Buddha wore a damn shoe on his head. He was like, oh, I can't believe it. How could you do this? And he's like, well, I just wanted you to know the manner of person that I was. So the Buddha, Guru Rinpoche, any ascended master has been a quality of person that's been quite strange to the usual collective and social norm. If I am pretty similar to it, then we're really reaching an amazing place in our expression right now as a collective consciousness that we are very close to the gateways of realization. I believe that our expression has opened up an amazing, limitless, effortless gateway. And it's through expressing ourselves, absolutely. It's through having more fun, in a sense, but also a greater intensity and focus in a bigger way, too. So maybe we can see what isn't fun, really, and it's kind of just like blowing the days away while you wake up when you're 16. It's like, where did the last 40 years go? Oh, well, you drank it away. You distracted every one of your days until you finally got to 40 or 60 or whatever, you know? And if you just, like, rest in the present moment, you actually think the days are really long and wonder, like, geez, is this year ever going to be over? Gosh, it just started, bro. Oh, when? Well, it's January 1st. Oh, what year was it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Resting in the moment. So Miss Ray back here, I think we pretty much cleared up most of the things Ray needed to hear. And we didn't talk to her extremely directly, but that's okay. We're kind of strong and fierce. We're a leader, a teacher. Kind of help me do that. Kind of see, oh yeah, that's right. My student's walking into a car. So I'm just going to throw my student on their ass and say, don't you ever do that again. Why? Because if I would have just said, don't ever do it again, you got hit by the car. If I'd have grabbed you and thrown you without saying it, then you just thought I was being a dickhead, or you had to know the seriousness of what was going on. This is something that is kind of an interesting thing. a lot of the times we're talking to our friends and we're telling them like, what we like and what we don't, but we barely tell them. We're like, yeah, that's oh yeah, I think that's okay, but I'm not too much into it. What that person meant to say was, I hate that with all of my heart and all of my soul. Don't ever suggest that again. But they didn't say that. And so now they went to this thing they didn't want to go to, and they hated it with all their heart and all their soul, and now they hate their friend too. And their friend just thought they were doing a good thing. Jeez, just tell them what's going on. Motherfucker doesn't want to bring you somewhere that's going to make you feel like shit. I mean, be honest. Jeez. And if you don't like somebody touching you, just tell them. Don't fucking touch me! No, I'm just kidding. I mean, you could tell him that way, actually. I mean, you could tell him, obviously, set your tone to authenticity based on the intelligence that the moment has provided you throughout your entire life. If you can read the energy that this guy's gonna sock you in the face if you respond in that way, then that might be the case. Who knows for sure? So, just saying, little disclaimers I like to put out there. Do this at your own risk. But it really is an amazing balance, and that's another reason why I'm explaining these things in conversation through video. There's just so much to explain too. Like, I mean, literally, we probably have years of videos to be making at this time. Like, I just don't see the channel ever ceasing. There's just so much potency to everything in reflection. And we get into really deep, amazing energy expressions as well. That was cool, the light language earlier that we did. That was super sweet. I didn't realize it was going to go into that. But we bet unity to all the systems. And so it kind of makes sense that if unity gets brought to all the systems and awareness, that some kind of amazing centering occurs that brings phenomenal light energy. And then you got to be broken from it. I'm glad I was broken from it too, because I was thinking about doing that for like the rest of my life, bro. Nah, that is how you get into focus, though. You're pretty much you're in a posture forever, and once you're in a posture forever again, law of impermanence mandates that it changes. But whatever. All right. Is there anything that you would like to say?
I feel a lot better. I don't know. I had a hard day. I understand that the personalization that really.
You might be a little louder.
Hmm?
You might be a little louder.
Mm. No, I don't mind.
Thank you.
I know that the personalization it really handicaps me, because I can't grow, that way. I can't see beyond, my own stories that are not true. But I feel like expressing them to you is also helpful for me to see that they're not true. But I understand that expressing them, to you in that way can seem like really bad timing. Like I'm interjecting in the lesson and in the wisdom in some way. And so I'm sorry, I want to be able to listen fully and grow fast, and I realize that it's hard to do that, when I keep on trying to, I get a cut on my finger and I want to cut off my hand type of thing, and I'm really learning how to stop doing that. I'm trying to learn how to stop doing that because it's hard. It's I don't know, some of the emotions that come up are so blinding, in the moment all I can feel is hurt. Like earlier, all I could feel was like this pain, like this hurt, like this hopelessness, that's all I could see to get to the point where I can see beyond that. I can see things factually, like you said, and scientifically, and um, I'm just trying to find a better route to do that, like a way to catch myself in those moments and just breathe, and come back to myself and realize that the stories are not true, and that the emotion I'm feeling is real, but it can be moved through instead of identified with, I guess. I'm really grateful for everything that happened today, even though I was in like a lot of pain, and I wonder how much everything was connected, because I've been having like this super harsh pain like in my kidney. I don't know if it's a kidney stone, because that was more intense than this was, but this still like sucks really, really bad. And so I wonder like how much it's related. It could just be like me not taking care of myself, not drinking enough water, which is kind of the same lesson here, is not seeing myself fully, not taking care of myself.
Yeah, I tell you to drink water all the time too.
I know. But I feel a lot
She thinks
better.
I'm saying things to her.
I think that you say things that hurt. I don't believe that you're trying to hurt me.
No, the water. When I tell you to drink water. But you don't drink the water. Like, you need to drink water. I have 2 gallons of water I keep with me. She has this tiny little silver bottle. And she's like, no, I have plenty of water. I got 2 gallons. And she doesn't want to drink one of my gallons. And not like she's going to drink the whole gallon either. I hope she would. But that's what I meant. But where she was saying I was mean to her, I'm quite harsh. I really am direct as fuck about things. But we can say that I'm quite harsh, but I'm really amazingly well articulated and impeccable and loving and kind, and I never just call somebody names or talk down to them in a way that makes them think that they're a piece of shit. I do definitely destroy the shit out of arrogant ideas and stuff like that. I mean, I demolish that stuff. And if somebody's identifying with one of those ideas that I'm demolishing, they're going to be really upset about the demolishing of that idea. But that idea's not them. And they don't have to identify and take that personally. But we haven't had huge cutting things like that. I mean, we've had one giant cutter when it comes to like more deep, and that was the stupid idiotic thing or whatever. And that happened today down in the parking lot down there in the hotel. Parking lot. She wanted to speak to me on the bus, but I wasn't going to speak to her on the bus. I didn't feel like being loud with her. She's all very quiet. It makes me have to be very, very loud. I just would rather her just, speak normally so everybody can speak normally, but, we're doing a funny thing here in the channel. And eventually you're going to see how that evens out, too. She'll probably become a stronger expresser than me. Who knows? Maybe not, though. We'll find out. Maybe just equal. If she does become a stronger expressor than me, then she's probably hit a point in arrogance where she's overseeding me, and I'm unable to channel anymore around her, probably, if that ever occurs. We'll find out, though. But I do promote the possibility of that. So if she's able to bring herself into that realm of dominance and flow, then awesome, terrific. So it turns out I am fierce as a lion, and so it's wonderful. But I'm the grit. So if you need any kind of grit for growth, I got it for you. And I do it in a very loving manner. I'm never demeaning the girl, She's fucking amazing, phenomenal, gorgeous, grand, the best fucking ever. She's perfect consciousness. These ideas, wanting to be intelligent or something, this is dumb. This is fucking idiotic. It's stupid. And again, it's actually extremely intelligent, obviously, in some sense, when built upon experience that believes in consciousness as the way man has depicted it to be, typically within the mainstream reality. But as it turns out, we simply are intelligence occurring. And so we could try to control ourselves to make ourselves this perfect, amazing expression of intelligence. But all that's going to do is try to make us do something with our amazing mind, which is quite dumb. Compared to the intelligence in which consciousness is boosting and constantly occurring at in every moment, we can come into alignment with what is intelligence, what is ourself, and we'll be the greatest of intelligence in any moment we're in, even if we're saying the most dumb shit. So if you don't want to be dumb, deal with it. It's okay to be every possible chord shape and frequency. See, I'm a very tough individual. Also, I've been swearing since I was 4, so the harshness is when it comes to cussing and swearing. That has to do with just a simple, most natural way to express in certain times and fashions. Of course, this is also my, most natural way. There's not two ways. They're both, the same thing. If I had a cuss word to throw in here, I would use it, but there's no reason to say, fucking sentence enhancers in that particular realm and statement in psychology and reality, unfolding of the moment. But I will say it if it be necessary, and you've seen me say it in a very harsh manner, in this manner, in that manner, in that manner. What you will see is the way in which I say it extremely harshly in the most balanced of ways. There was one time earlier I did something that could appear to be out of balance, but then you saw me immediately rest back into stillness. And so you see I'm able to rise to a big expression and then bring myself back into centering. So I'm not losing centering with any of these frequencies. I'm not losing the ability to be me or exist constantly, authentically expressing the channel moving through me without resistance. No matter if the cussing comes. If I were to omit the cussing, then I would break the channel. That's when I would have to start to catch myself back on the line. But I just follow the line, one endless stream. And that's what's happening right now. We're following a line, one endless stream. And that's kind of what I was telling you about before when the moving of energy flow. We're moving in one direction. That's why I said I move in all the directions. Or I just move in one direction. It's about moving forward continuously the entire time. And so when I come to understanding of what's happening with these masters, for me, I just see that nobody can get in front of them. That's how I see it. I don't know if they notice it this way, but nobody can get in front. That they're always the in front positioning, and that has to do with a ridiculous balancing of many different chord progressions and shapes. It's not just physical balance and fluidity of the physical body, but it's a physical balance, or it's a balance of the internal body, the subtle body, the understandings of the mind, the character of a being. That's the reason why martial arts is a thing of great honor and integrity. But I'm going to bring us deeper into the limitless ways of these expressions. And so, even though we've kind of jumped away from it, I don't know why. Ray was saying something, I interjected, she then deflected and went away. Went to the bathroom, took her easy positioning to walk away at that moment to go use the restroom. For me, I see it as a huge deflection because she immediately receded away from expression in the conversation, allowing herself to be dominated by another being. But that actually was not my intention, was to dominate another being. My intention is simply obviously the same as always. And now I'm just now realizing at this moment that we've come so far from the time in which she was expressing. And she was expressing. I had something to say about the expression. I interjected. I had said it right in front of her. So strong, so powerful. She had no ability to stop me from saying it. And then now, she is able to express if she wants to. Of course, now I've said it in this funny way, too. Kind of like putting like some kind of like shame or pointing embarrassment. Some kind of weird pressure to the expression. And so that's odd. This is not something I would intentionally do, but I just see that this is constantly occurring right now, or currently, right now, presently, as I am expressing. And what I am again doing is still just breathing outwards in one direction, following a stream. And so I just sit here listening to this thing as it's occurring. And I could try to route it, but when I do that, you understand that the observance is what happens. Okay, here I am trying to route this now. Okay, I'm still trying to route this. Oh, I'm trying to route this. And so, there's not a lot of real budge and movement possibility for me. I could say tree, sprinkle, the, whatever I want to say at all, anyways, ever, at any time, at all, in any possible chord shape, compassionate, suppression, blocky, flying, yellow, submarine melding into a giant rainbow of cacophony of frequency that's causing me to see that I can possibly be free here, perfectly existing in everything in the most amazing, phenomenal fashion, always a liberated being in all consciousness. So we're just breathing, we're just breathing along, allowing the song. We've been doing things to open up her voice and open up her expression, and one of the big things is just allowing her to be louder. Not forcing the loudness, though. Not like, what? Even though that was actually perfect flow. Did you see that was perfect flow? I don't know if you noticed it, but if one of you's out there, that yell that I just accidentally did perfectly, I was trying to show you. See, that's the word. I was trying to show you how you fuck it up. And because I tried to control it, I created the opposite. So it'd be a really amazing thing if you tried to do this and it showed you how you fuck yourself by trying to control something. Even if you're trying to make something perfect happen, you would actually just be trying to try to make something perfect happen. And so then you would just have this other not perfect thing happen because you're actually going for the perfect thing. You see, I was going for the not perfect thing, so I got the perfect thing. I was like, well, what the heck happened here? I can't believe this. But, it literally just does it on its own. So we don't really have to try it all. I could, try to show you. Woo! And that was good. I think there's something about the unsurety there. It was kind of a neutral ground that allowed all of the atomic structures or all of the quantum photonic energy, whatever it is, particles and waves, to just be existing